my voice. Not if you talk that quietly. Okay, so when we have like denominators, we just add the top. But unfortunately, for unlike denominators, it's not quite as easy. But I taught you a trick. Yes. So we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to do 5 times 3. What's 5 times 3? 15. And 8 times 2 is 16. And what do I do with the 15 and the 16? Add them up. What's 15 plus 16? 31. 31. And then what do I do with these? How do I get my denominator? Yep, you multiply 8 times 5, which is? What's 8 times 5? That's okay. 40. Yeah, you did 8 plus 5. That's okay. All right. Cool. Same exact thing for subtracting, except we're just subtracting instead of adding now.
So wait, would this become a negative fraction if it's 2/5 minus 4/5?
So it's 7/5. If it was 2/5, then yes, it would become negative, but it's positive. So that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, this top one is again like denominators. We just have to subtract the numerators. So what's 7 minus 4? What? 3. That's okay. And what does my denominator become? Yeah, it just stays at 5 because these are like denominators. They just stay the same. But then what about this one? What do I do?
Cross multiply.
Yep, cross multiply again. So 5 times 3 is 15. 8 times 1 is? And then what's 8? And then, sorry, 15 minus 8 is? 7 over, and then how do I get my denominator? Multiply. So what's 8 times 5? 40. There we go. Okay? Cool? Does everyone have what they need down on this paper to remember what to do tomorrow? Great. Great. Okay, now let's talk about multiplying and dividing. So for multiplying, what do I need to do when I want to multiply fractions? Does it matter if they have common denominators or uncommon denominators? No. Yeah, you just go straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So for this one, it's going to be 4 times 7. Wow, that was a messed up circle. And 5 times 1. Okay, so what's 4 times 7? 28. And 5 times 5? 25. Perfect. And you can leave it just like that. All right, same thing down here. I just multiply across the top and across the bottom. So what's 3 times 2? 6. And 8 times 5 is? 40. Yeah. And I could simplify this. What would it be simplified? 3 over 20. How did you get there?
Half of 6 is 3, and then half of 40 is 20.
Exactly. You divided the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And we could simplify that. But again, I wouldn't mark you off if you just put 6 over 40. Okay. All right, now dividing. What do we do when we're dividing fractions? Yes, yes. Yeah, that's really important part of it. So we're going to cross multiply again. So circle your numbers that are across from each other. Make a little X. And we're going to write our answers over here on the left side. And that'll help us set up the fraction properly. So what is 5 times 4? 20. And then 7 times 5 is 35. So my answer is what? 20 over 35. Do you see how if we wrote the answers over here on the right side, we'd get 35 over 20? But that's not what we want. So make sure you write your answers over on the left side. And I can simplify this fraction too. How would I simplify it? Yeah, I would divide both the top and the bottom by 5. So I could divide 20 by 5, 35 by 5, and it would become 4 over 7. And again, that's not necessary. I'll accept the unsimplified version, but it is good practice to simplify. All right, now this one is written a little bit differently. Can we rewrite it so it looks like this and we can do our cross multiply thing? Exactly. So,
Put it side by side instead of over.
right. But how did we know to do 1/2 first? Because it's in the numerator. So any fraction we see, numerator over denominator, can also be written like this: numerator divided by denominator. Because all fractions are just a division problem. So we're going to write this: 1/2 divided by 3/8. And then we cross multiply. And am I going to write my answers on the left or on the right? Left. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. 6. So my answer becomes 8 over 6. And I can simplified it's going to be 4 over 3 because
And then since
by
you
two.
do that as 1 and
Yeah.
1/3,
because both of those numbers are divisible by 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2. Cool? Okay. Now powers of fractions. So exponents with fractions.
so 1/3 times 1/3, 1/3 is 1/3.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the same thing as 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1 over 729. Another way to think about it is this is 1 to the 6th over 3 to the 6th, right? And what is this like form? If this is called exponent form, what is this form called?
Expanded form.
Expanded form. So this is expanded. This is exponent form. And then this 1 over 729, Bella, I think I heard you say it. No, something else. Starts with an S. Sorry. What is it? Standard form. Okay, so this is exponent form written with an exponent, expanded form written as a multiplication problem, or standard form just written as a number. Okay. And one more, let's talk about the exponents again. So we've got 4 to the 5th. How do I write that in expanded form?
4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4.
And if I wanted to put this in my calculator, would I have to type in 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4?
Do the caret and then put the exponent.
Exactly. So in the calculator, it's going to be 4. I'm going to write the buttons down. 4 caret 5. So base first, and then the little caret symbol, and then the 5. I'm going to show you on the calculator again. No, you got it. That's okay. I didn't even hear what you said. Oh, no, that's a valid answer to that question. All right. Okay. I know. I'm just going to show you anyway, even though Jenna said no. So 4 caret 5. Enter. And there's our answer, 1024. Okay. And then this one, there was a question like this yesterday on the Math Minutes. And we'll talk about this more at another time, but this is, I want to take this and write it in exponent form.
So wouldn't it be the amount of number 5 and squared, and then 3, 8 to the 3rd power, and then those two answers multiplied?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be 5 squared. What would it be? 5 to, yeah, how many 5s there are, which I think is what you said first. How many are there? 5. So 5 to the 5th, and Corbin, you're right, times 8 to the 3rd.
Which is 1,600,000.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to write that. I just wanted to put this in exponent form. I just wanted to put it in exponent form, so it's fine just that way. Okay?
Oh, adding subtracting negative numbers.
Yeah, you can flip over to the other side. Okay, might feel a little tedious, but I just want to practice it, and I hope it will like give you kind of a pattern of how positive and negative numbers work together.
That's a lot of math.
It's really not that much. It's 8 problems that we'll do together, and then 8 that I'm going to have you do by yourself. Okay? So we'll do the ones on the left. So 12 minus 7. 12 minus 7. 5. 12 plus 7. 19. 12 minus negative 7. 19, right? Because if I'm subtracting a negative number, both of them turn positive. So this is just an addition problem.
That's only if it's in the parentheses.
So even if I had 12 minus negative 7, it would still be the same thing. 19. Yeah, good question. What about 12 plus negative 7? 5. Exactly. This and that first one are the same thing. So adding a negative number is the same as subtracting that number. Okay, negative 12 minus 7. Negative 19, right. So I have 2 negative numbers combined together becomes more negative. Okay. What about negative 12 plus 7? Yeah, negative 5. So I just start at negative 12 and I go to the right 7 to negative 5. What about negative 12 minus negative 7?
Negative 5.
Yeah, negative 5. It's the same thing because when I subtract a negative number, it becomes positive. So it's negative 5. And then negative 12 plus negative 7? Negative 19. Because when I add a negative number, it's the same as subtracting that number. Okay? All right, can you try and do the right side on your own? You can use your calculator, and you just would have to type it in exactly as you see it, including parentheses. First on the right side, it shouldn't take you.
Are we allowed to use the calculator tomorrow?
Yes. So you can use this paper and a calculator on the test tomorrow. So that's just the minus sign and the negative sign. Minus negative. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, you might be getting an error. Let me show you why. So on your calculator, if we wanted to do 7 minus negative 12, so some of you are doing this, 7 minus negative 12, and it's giving you an error. If this ever comes up, you can just hit 2, and it'll exit out of it. Okay, so let's try something else. So what we want to do is we want to still do 7 minus, and then open the parentheses, but then when we're talking about a negative number, we have to use this negative symbol. So negative 12, and then close parentheses and hit enter, and you should get the answer. Okay?
Don't touch it.
All right, we'll take one more minute to finish that up.
Previous answer and accept a new problem.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. So, order of operations, right? What does the P stand for? Parentheses. What does the E stand for? Exponent. I'm gonna write it. Multiplication, division, and then addition. Oops, subtraction. That looks weird. Addition, subtraction. For multiply and divide, and for add and subtract, we just go left to right. So let's do these together.
Well, the multiplication division factors for addition, right?
Exactly, yes, yes. But you multiply and divide left to right, and then you add and subtract left to right.
Okay.
So in this first one,
So
can you underline the operation that goes first? Underline the operation that goes first. Which one do you calculate first? In this first one.
4 times 2.
Yeah, you do the 4 times 2 first. So what's 4 times 2?
8.
Yep, so this becomes 9 minus 8 plus 3. Now what do I do?
You go from left to right.
You go from left to right, so what comes first?
Subtraction.
This subtraction, 9 minus 8. What's 9 minus 8? 1 plus 3 equals
You also
4.
can put that into your calculator and
Same thing, exactly, yes. And if you type it in exactly as you see it, you should get the same exact answer. Because the calculator also follows the order of operations. Okay.
Order of 10.
The order of PEMDAS, the order of Aunt Sally.
Yeah.
All right, what about
Right,
this one? What do we do first? Yeah, we do the parentheses. We can do this one or that one first. It doesn't really matter, but we have to keep them separate. So, yeah. So, yeah, we'll do left to right. So, what's 3 plus negative 7?
Negative. No.
3 plus
Negative
negative
4.
7. Yeah, negative 4. Negative 4. And then we have times. What's 2 minus 5?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Negative 4 times negative 3 is
Positive 12.
positive 12.
Because 2 negatives make positive.
Because 2 negatives multiplied together make a positive.
And then if it's
Okay.
negative
How
times
about-
positive, it's negative. Right?
Yeah, so negative times negative equals a positive. Positive times negative equals a negative. Negative times positive equals a negative. And then positive times positive equals a positive. Okay, how about this one? What comes first?
Your exponent.
What comes first?
Your exponent.
The exponent has to come first. So just this part. So what's 3 squared? 9. So this becomes 36 divided by 9 times 4. Now what happens?
Times 4.
Huh? What comes first?
Left to right.
Left to right. So what comes
36
first?
divided by 9,
36 divided by 9 comes next,
4, and
which
4
equals
times 4 is 16.
4 times 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. Okay? All right, last two, we're talking about evaluating expressions. So I wrote down the 3 steps that we talked about yesterday. So we need to replace the variable with a number, and we're going to put parentheses around that number, and then apply order of operations to simplify. Okay, so 4x plus 7 when x equals 2. What's my variable?
4 times, oh, X.
Yeah, x is my variable. So I'm going to replace x with the number
4 times
because
seven
x
equals-
equals 2. So I can replace x with 2. So this will become 4, and I'll use my parentheses, 4 plus 7. And what's going on in between the 4 and the 2? They're going to be multiplied. This doesn't just become 42 plus 7, right? No. So what's 4 times 2? 8. And then 8 plus 7 is 15. There's our answer. Okay? Last one. 12x plus y minus 6y when x equals 2 and y equals 3.
12 and then 2 parentheses plus 3.
12 and then times 2 in parentheses plus 3, and all of that is in parentheses.
Which is equals
When I have parentheses inside of parentheses, I usually make my outer parentheses into brackets, into straight lines instead of the curved lines. And that just differentiates between the two sets. So 12 times 2 plus 3 minus 6 times 3. Okay, so what do I need to evaluate first?
12 times 2.
12 times 2. I work inside these brackets, these parentheses first.
24
So
plus
this
3,
becomes 24 plus 3
which is
minus 6 times 3. 24 plus 3 is 27 minus 6 times 3. So what comes next?
your other variable.
Well, so I already replaced that other variable. What do I have?
The subtraction part, or would it be the
That'd be the multiplication.
multiplication?
The multiplication, right? Because multiplication comes before subtraction. So what's 6 times 3?
24. Oh, that's so
It's okay. What is it? 18. So 27 minus 18 is?
Number.
27 minus 18? 9. So I always think about it because if it was 28 minus 18, what would it be? 28 minus 18 is what?
28 minus 18 will be
9.
No. 28 minus 18.
28 minus 18. That's like 11.
Oh. Where's my marker? 28 minus 18
Oh. Wait, 30 minus 18.
is 10, right? Because 8 minus 8 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. What's 1 less than 28?
27.
What's 1 less than 10?
9.
9. That's how I always remember it. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now, please, I'm going to hand out